Hello, hello. Let's get the music going.
Lost my pen. Oh, there it is. Hello, hello. Is it
All
working?
right.
We were having some issues with the chat, so I'm not sure if it's going to show up. But you've got it up on the iPad, right?
I have Mixer on the iPad, but let me pull up YouTube real quick.
Yeah, we're just not sure that the chat's going to come through on the screen properly.
If Twitch and YouTube aren't coming up, though, I'm not sure how we're supposed to keep up with things.
Yeah, it's going to make things difficult because I rely on the what y'all see.
Let's see here. Okay. Uh-oh. Did you load the...
I did. It was showing up. Hold on. Oh, it didn't save.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Saving helps. Can't say I haven't done that a dozen times either, though.
Well, it looks like we're at least live on Twitch, so that part's working.
I guess I'm gonna have to, like, bounce between apps like a madman. I'll have to Google
Possibly.
and see what the deal is with Restream. But let's go ahead and get going.
Okay. Let's see. I need this lovely green again. I feel like I've used this exact green before. That's fine, because it's lovely. Goodbye, onigiri. I shouldn't hit that so many times. It's thinking so hard. Oh no. Oh no, YouTube says it couldn't update the video.
Uh-oh. Maybe it's a problem with YouTube.
Oh no.
YouTube seems to like its problems lately.
If that ain't the truth. Let's see, is anything? Nope.
I say let's just get started and see what happens.
But the thumbnail. Let's see, how do I trash this? Alright, there we go. Let's go even better than that. Yeah. Alright, looks like it's saved now. So hopefully it'll be showing up properly.
Hopefully so. Is our Restream showing anything now? Maybe it was because YouTube hadn't sent anything yet. Oh, it looks like there's someone on Twitch. Let me scoot over to there. Hey, Dave, what's going on? Yeah, YouTube changed their UI and everything for the live streaming. And now we're having issues, but at least, well, I mean, we can see what you're saying, so hopefully it'll show what YouTube is.
Yeah, and you've got the YouTube up on your pad on the other.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
So,
So we can get this show rolling.
Yeah, man, YouTube's a piece of work lately. How did I get your cat again?
I don't know.
Just repeatedly stealing him. Okay, right cat this time.
We may just have a switch cat night. So how you doing, Dave? Everything going well for you, bro?
Rub it on the show. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up some pictures of this dude. Inosuke. Oh yeah, I feel you on that. It was pretty fun, but yeah, super exhausting.
Yeah, the con was definitely interesting. It's a really different experience just kind of going as, you know, a non-cosplayer for all these years and then actually like, you know, we're always the one just asking for pictures or approaching people, and then like all of a sudden we were those folks, and it was fun for sure, but definitely new. Yeah, and it was a small con. There were maybe 1,000 people there at most, if that. And so it's not like one of those really big cons where you get the crazy cosplayers that do like, you know, mechanical stuff, and you know they got moving parts and lights everywhere and all that. So we actually stood a chance. There were still much better cosplayers there than us, but there were less of them that I think a big con's gonna have. So.
Yeah, I wish we had been able to get into the contest.
Yeah, we've never tried to get into a cosplay contest, so we didn't know what to do. And then when we finally figured out where it was starting, we were already too late. They tried to squeeze us in, but they couldn't because they were running behind.
And they ended up having like an hour of extra time after the contest. They should have put us in there.
Appreciate that, Dave. Yeah, Sasha really pulled it off.
Thank you. It was pretty nerve-wracking though. I'm not used to that much attention.
At least it was a smaller con. So like we said, there weren't that many people. I think at a bigger con, we would probably end up, it's possible we could end up getting locked into one place, like, because we were having a few times where someone would ask us for a picture, and then like groups of people would ask us after them too, so we like couldn't even move at times.
Yeah, I always would get irritated going to cons and there'd be like traffic jams because people taking pictures, but
Yeah,
that's gonna be us for sure. Cause
I'm thinking when we go to like the dealers rooms or whenever something is tight, we're gonna like get in the habit of like maybe having a bag to put our big accessories in so we can just kind of move through, because in like the dealers rooms there's no space. We don't want to be that group that's like keeping people from getting to what they want to get to because folks are taking pics of us.
yeah, for sure.
Keep the cosplay to the big areas. So you said you were drained from your weekend, Dave? That's right. You did. You went to some stuff with your friends from Scotland, right?
Oh yeah. Oh dang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we saw your haul. It looks like you did spend quite a bit. Yeah, GoPro cams are really sweet. We had a lot of fun with ours. We still use it every here and there. I'm gonna be using it for time-lapse videos here pretty soon, mostly for like the 3D printing stuff. But yeah, they're really sweet cameras, and they're so small.
Yeah, there were some people using them up at the con to take pictures.
Oh, that's cool. So you're doing some videos at the kennel? That'd be awesome to see.
Oh yeah.
Man, I bet you could like put a 20 or not a 24 hour since you obviously after hours, but I bet if you did like some kind of a stream of the dogs and like oh, you said they're not in like a co-ed playpen that they each have their own runs. Never mind. Huh. I was gonna say if it was one of those kennels where they all get together, I bet people would love like a little maybe a 20-minute stream of them playing around and stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of those streams out there. One of the things about GoPros that I like is you can really kind of squeeze those cameras into anywhere, because in Japan we had a lot of we went to a lot of places, and almost every place you go in Japan has like no recording rules. They're really honestly against recording for the most part there. There were a few places where we kind of broke the rules and we still had the camera. We just kept it away from like people as much as we could, but it was just too cool to pass up, like different things we wanted to just save.
Yeah, I don't think we ended up posting any of those, but just so we could have them.
Hey audience, how's it going?
Oh, hello.
Sorry if your message has been there a little while. We're having issues with YouTube right now. The messages aren't showing up properly for us. They went and changed the UI and everything for YouTube's live streaming, so we're having to use the app on our side. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you. Glad to see you again. How's everything been? Was your Thanksgiving good?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, so
Hope
are
you
we
had a good
doing
food.
Inosuke with the mask or without?
I think I'm gonna draw him eating something with the mask, like, part up, like how I was wearing it.
Okay.
His hat.
Sweet, we look forward to it, Dave. I like any kind of footage of animals.
Yeah.
I think they're usually such better actors than people. So you got to get away from the campus for a little while then, audience. That's good to hear. How are things going with getting ready for your finals, or I guess midterms? Sorry if that's not a topic you want to talk about. We don't have to.
Oh, yeah, I totally understand it. It's not.
If you like video editing that much, Dave, then I would say you should definitely get working on concepts and figuring out what you want to do for your channel, because I think honestly the real way to grow YouTube is you gotta like it. You really gotta really love the editing, in my opinion. If you can do editing and making videos well, man. Hey Bree, what's going on? Good to see you, girl.
Well, hello.
How you doing today? Toasty, huh? What kind of toasty we talking about? We talking about, did you go and get a new jacket kind of toasty? You in front of the heater kind of toasty? We're talking drinks toasty. All are good. Man, real-time procedural animation. I bet that's interesting. So is that like all algorithms that you're having to deal with? I imagine the programming for that must be a bit of a nightmare. I got you, Bree. Toss one back for me while you're at it, since I can't anymore. But yeah, Dave, if you're getting your concepts together, definitely throw your game plan together. I can still understand why you'd hold off till after Kappa. But I mean, they are. It does seem like they're making it much less intimidating. You know, if you still are like a channel that caters specifically to kids, and like that is like your audience, and it's like pretty much a declared audience, then yeah, it's gonna be rough on those guys. But at least the rest of us with mixed audiences are gonna be okay. I hope. It sounds like we'll have a chance.
These eyes are huge.
I imagine there wouldn't be much in the way of documentation for procedurally generated. Is that like, I pardon my ignorance, I don't know too much about code, but is it like, do you have to keep up? Is it almost like you're working with an artificial programmer aside, or having to keep up with the programming as it generates automatically, or are you kind of like a caretaker for it or something to make sure it doesn't go too off the rails? I've always wondered about procedural stuff because I love procedurally generated stuff in games. Friday? You think we're gonna be free Friday?
Friday. I think we were thinking about trying to get some pictures, but that would be kind of like early afternoonish.
Yeah, that would be before it gets dark.
Yeah.
We
I think later than that though, nothing.
Yeah, we could probably do something on Friday night, Bree. If anything comes up though, if I'm forgetting anything, I will text you and let you know. I would hope most of our personalities are pretty procedurally generated, Dave. Would kind of suck if it all was just set in stone. Like, what if we were just data? That's a discussion for another time.
Some philosophical stuff. My phone needs to stop lighting up. What is all this?
He used to be a one-note anime harem protagonist. Isn't that kind of how it is for a lot of people? Did you lose your harem? Without the fun. Wind controls, that's pretty cool. So you pretty much you're there just like a guide, and you basically just kind of nudge it back. Like if you're like the walls in a house and there's a Roomba running around loose, and you're just moving around, bumping it like, no, don't go over there. Don't go over here. Stay out of that cabinet. Still sounds really complicated. Honestly, it sounds like it's probably a lot more difficult than doing your own programming, because at least if you're writing all the code, you know exactly what to expect. Oh, Bree, tonight we are doing Inosuke Hashibira. He is the dude that Sasha cosplayed at the con.
Yeah, I figured it might be fitting. Do something to celebrate. Because that was super fun.
Your harem is still totally intact. It's just they're all married. Man,
Oh,
you
that's
sound
bad.
like an adventurous and risque kind of dude. Krampus for Christmas? We probably could. Sasha isn't too much into the horror scene, but she could probably do it. Something a little different, a little more serious.
What are you signing me up for?
She'd do anime Krampus.
What? What's Krampus?
It's... Here, it'll be easier if I just show you. There you go.
Do what now? Who? Huh? What is that?
He's from Christmas Horror Stories.
Huh?
He's a demon.
Oh.
Actually, it wouldn't be too much different from what you drew for The Witcher. You remember the Minotaur? Or not Minotaur. What was he? What did you? I can't remember its name at the moment. The
It's kind of goat.
moose.
Moose looking, yeah.
Moose.
I don't look anything like how I look without makeup. My phone couldn't even recognize me. My face recognition stopped working.
Yeah. Oh, you're still trying to get into Pokemon Sword, Dave? So what's keeping you from it? I actually still haven't even had hardly any time to play even Death Stranding. Every time I boot Death Stranding up, I pretty much have to leave Norman Reedus in his room while I go attend to things that come up unexpectedly. I'm still in like chapter 3.
Man, I look ridiculous in a dress. I literally look like a dude in a dress.
Naming your Pokemon after political figures.
Oh, do we switch cats?
Bridesmaid's dress? I'd be interested to see that too. Would you have her wear all the lash extensions and the contacts and everything?
Oh no.
You could have she could do like maybe a Magus Bride or something from an anime for you.
I mean, if you're cool with me being like 2 hours late.
Yeah, it did take quite a bit to do the makeup. Sasha isn't used to doing all that makeup, so.
Yeah, no. Usually like eyeliner. Let's go.
So are the animations in Pokemon Sword and Shield really that bad? I'd heard that was one of the biggest complaints before the game came out, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to play it myself really, so I haven't been able to confirm it. Oh yeah, Bree, it was a great time.
Yeah, it took some getting used to. I'm like, I don't think I've ever been in so many pictures in one day in my life.
Yeah, it's a really big change to go from being the folks just walking around like we normally are, just the nobodies in the background that are watching everyone go by asking for pictures. We're the ones hunting down the cosplayers. And now all of a sudden we were the ones getting pulled over, and yeah. It was really nice of them to ask us for pictures, but yeah, sometimes it was a little overwhelming. But I guess it's something you get used to.
I mean, it never really bothered me while it was happening, but anytime that we had like a lull, I realized, man, I'm exhausted and hot. Friggin' polyester for the loss.
Yeah, audience, you're actually you're a game coder, so I'm curious, what is your opinion on Pokemon Sword and Shield? Someone that actually deals with animation and coding like you, I'd be really interested to hear what's your take on the new Pokemon? Like from a user status and like what you think of it as a coder. Oh, Milo's in the box because this was the box one of our things came in, and it has this like, it was a triangular like thing there that he's sleeping in. It was shaped like a triangle, but he figured out it's perfect for him to lay in. So he's been using it as a bed for like 2 weeks now. We can't bring ourselves to throw it away because he's in love with it.
Yeah, he adores that box.
You can be Powerline, Bree, I'm telling you. At an anime convention,
absolutely.
they love any kind of costume. Like, people love to see cosplayers. It doesn't matter. You could be Marvel, DC, Disney. You could be, if you're Powerline, they would probably love you even more because they love, like retro and classic kind of animation stuff. I don't think a Goofy movie's quite in the retro category, but I'd say definitely a classic.
Disney for sure. People go ham.
I've actually seen some Powerline cosplayers. Like,
yeah? I haven't seen any, but I bet it would be really cool.
You could actually probably find someone cosplaying as Goofy from Kingdom Hearts and totally do an interesting cross picture with him.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw some of that from videos, Dave. How they just kind of move, like the character models, like the Pokemon just kind of, it's like headbutt and it like kind of like shifts to the side, and then the enemy takes a hit.
Probably their argument for why they might do that is like the retro feels, the old Pokemon feels.
So it does come across as rushed to you as well, audience? Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, so many game companies are releasing like really big games. It's not... I think a few of the Japanese companies especially are guilty of this. I think they still think, and maybe in Japan it is the case, I mean it very well could be, that the case is still, the holidays are the best time to release games. Right before Christmas and everything, Thanksgiving. But like most of the year seems to be really good now. Like you see a ton of releases between January and March, usually a little bit of a lull, and then like July through October are really big. Then like mid-November, like 1 week in November, and then like all through the month of December. But I think they could have taken their time on it, made a really, really good game that people would be happy with, and figured it out. But there's also the hardware limitations for the Switch that I'm probably not even considering right now. I'm sure that's a big issue. Yeah, the memory on the Switch is the big thing that I was thinking about. It really is innovation-wise, it's a generation ahead, but hardware-wise, it's definitely behind. I was surprised they ever got Warframe to run on it.
Warframe runs on the Switch?
Yep, it is on the Switch.
What?
Has been for about a year now, actually.
How?
Oh, so you're thinking a lot of it could be... So between what Dave said, how they plan it out with the anime series, and the fact that they had to... that kind of forces them, that pigeonholes them into working with the Switch in a certain amount of time, so it probably just ended up being a recipe for disaster, so they kind of set themselves up for failure. Although, from what I've been seeing on news reports, on the sales numbers, they're not half bad, and it's the fastest selling game on the Switch right now. Makes sense that they would match it up with the anime and everything and the merch, because I didn't know about that, Dave. That's pretty cool.
Can you reach the camera? I'm looking for references and found this picture of Inosuke from the manga that
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but... That's pretty great fan art.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure that... Did you say fan art?
Is it fan art or is that manga? Is that from the manga?
I think that's the manga.
Are you serious? I knew the manga had some simple faces at times, but that's
No.
just great. Like
The manga is
they
my
straight
God.
up took the same line and went from his pectoral to his what is
His deltoid.
yeah, his deltoid. It's like the
Yeah.
same line.
Yep. The manga be a little bit janky at times, but I think it's kind of endearing. There's a lot of like compilations of like dumb faces that Tanjiro makes.
Hey Rick, how you doing tonight, bro? Everything going good?
Woo!
We are doing good.
Oh man, Sailor Moon is like forever popular. Can't go wrong with that.
Oh, Storm from
Yeah, Storm
X-Men
would be
is
awesome
too. I wouldn't worry about losing weight, Brie. I mean, for your health, yeah, but don't stress on that for the cosplay. I mean, honestly, cosplay is like that's where everyone goes to feel free on that. Don't don't worry about all that. If you want to dress up as someone, you dress up with someone, and as long as you want to be that character and you're having fun, you'll rock that character.
And everyone will love it.
Though I will admit, after cosplaying once and having folks taking our pictures, even though I was a character that's very conservative as far as what I was wearing, so you couldn't really tell. I had an obi and hakama on, which are basically they're really close to being they keep your stomach in check, which is great. It's almost like a Japanese girdle.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it
a little
girdle
bit.
or a corset almost
Yeah.
for guys? But yeah. So, but after that, I was kind of thinking about it, and cosplay is great motivation to work
Yeah,
out
for sure.
because I've been trying to think of a good regimen for myself to kind of throw off a couple pounds. Or maybe ounces. We'll start with some ounces first.
Just do what I do.
No, I don't want to die.
You'll be fine. It's not that hard.
You've got that Iron Man workout going.
Nah, it's not bad.
Iron Woman. Or rescue? You're rescue.
Anyone can do my workout. You just choose your appropriate weight, and it'll be the right level of difficult.
Man, Dave, I've thought about keto a few times, but the whole timing you're eating, I can do the meat and veggies diet fine, but the whole timing you're eating to a really narrow time frame of day is what gets me. It's what always stops me. I start feeling sick, and I know it's a phase. You're going into ketosis, but the way my body responds to being sick is sleep. So anytime I do it, anytime I try, I end up just sleeping for like anytime I'm not needed for, doing something, I'm pretty much asleep. It's kind of depressing. Oh, my bad, audience. I didn't see that YouTube. Why did YouTube? It blocked one of your comments, audience. My bad.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole infrared thing on the controllers is actually pretty annoying, especially if you want to play like a game like Ring Fit Adventure. Sash keeps having issues with it because of the infrared.
Yeah, it works way better than I expected. It works way better than any of the like old fitness games that I've played that use similar technology, but it still gets off sometimes and I get mad. Freaking Ring be telling me like you need to bend a little more. Like, dude, don't bend no more. You need to figure out where you are. Can't find the picture of him eating all the onigiri. It came up earlier. These pictures from the manga, I swear. Oh, jeez.
So are you going to blow up his other cheek? Because once you do the bangs, I'm not sure if that one's going to show up very well.
It's gonna depend on where the mask sits, if I can ever find a reference. This is fan art. But
Would be him recovering, I think. But, I mean, you can kind of set the mask wherever you want to, like they did.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say just go for it. It's fan art, right?
What, Halo?
No, this is... I'm pretty sure it's Demon Slayer music still. I think this is their ominous music.
Sounds like Halo.
When bad things happen. You're right, it does sound like Halo, though. Every time I hear, ever since Halo, every time I hear male chorus singers, I naturally think Halo. That game ruined me as far as opera singers. Well, when they sing in that pitch, I mean.
I swear those notes that sounded like Halo. Maybe just because I can barely hear it. I should have done this on another layer. Can I go back enough? Nope. Ruined forever.
Feeling a little bit overwhelmed now, Dave, with all your new swag? Yeah, if you think about it, man, Halo really set the bar in a lot of terms for music. Like, not just even that. Like, they were one of the first games I can remember that had, like, lyrical music. I mean, remember when they had the last level was, I think it was Breaking Benjamin did the song for that run? And, man, I can still remember almost all of Halo's soundtrack. It was just epic.
Didn't Incubus do some of the instrumentals?
Maybe. I think I might have heard something like that. They had a lot of famous Western bands working on their stuff.
I know the group was Incubus, but I don't know if it was like the Incubus.
Yeah, Halo is on PC now. Have you actually tried Need for Speed Heat, though, Dave? I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews on it. I was really hoping it would be really good, because I haven't had... I can't remember the last time I played, like, a really, really good Need for Speed game. I was huge on the Underground series, though. So are you liking it? Man, very mixed, huh? That's I don't think anyone is just really in love with Heat right now. Oh, so you're having mechanical issues with it then too. I think I saw a few people mention that, but I think a lot of people are complaining that it's incredibly way too short. Like, they're able to get through the campaign, which I think is kind of funny, the campaign on a racing game. I'm not huge into racing games, though, so. I'm actually more of, like, a Burnout fan. Or from way back. If you go way, way back, I love Driver. There was another one, too, that I really liked. What was it? So they're just kind of running with old systems and everything, just basically revive or rehashing all their older ideas with new graphics then? Yeah. Well, EA, apparently they did really well with the new Jedi Fallen Order, so at least they're moving in the right direction there, which is pretty funny since Jedi Fallen Order is a single player game, and we all know what EA thinks of those. But it's just, I really feel it's ironic that after all the hate over the last couple of years, that EA's gotten across all their multiplayer games. So it's like the timeline is they say that single player games are dead. So they release a ton of multiplayer games with all these loot boxes and bad rules and content that's been just hidden behind paywalls and everything. They've made everyone mad and almost destroyed their fan base and their reputation. And now, what's going to start rebuild? What's the first step of rebuilding their reputation? A single player game. But I am really hoping that Jedi Fallen Order is like proof that they've learned their lesson and that they're going to back off on all the bad practice they've been doing. So I used to really, really enjoy EA as a publisher years and years ago. I would love to see them come back. They can do good. They just have to focus on actually doing good and not doing good numbers.
Oh no, it's the song earlier. Why did I do that? How did this happen? Dang it.
Yeah, the days of EA Big were some of the best. Man, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, SSX, NBA Street. NFL Street was okay. It wasn't that bad. I mean, Marvel Nemesis. It that wasn't like the best fighting game, but it had its moments. It had some cool characters and it was fun. So, and let's not forget back in the day, Road Rash was like one of my favorite games back when. EA helped Square before they were Square Enix. They helped SquareSoft, go keep from having too much financial trouble. So they helped them out a lot. I mean, EA's done some great things, and they made some great things. They just got to find their way again. I'm hoping Jedi Fallen Order is just it's a step in the right direction. So hopefully they keep it up. I've heard the Galaxy Note 10s are pretty dang good phones. I'm a Google Pixel guy myself. I used to love the Galaxy, but I decided to try something new with the Pixel. And I love the Pixel 2, but looking at the Pixel 4, it doesn't seem like it's much of an upgrade from what I've got. So I think I'm just going to stay on board with this, and it still runs great for me. I use Google for way too much stuff, which might, I don't know, come back to bite me later, but I love the integration that Google gets on their phones, so it just makes life really easy if you're on YouTube. The camera is really, really nice. The camera is probably the first thing that drew me to the Google Pixel because it was the best camera out on cell phones at the time, and we were about to head over to Japan, and we really wanted a good camera. We had the GoPro, but we wanted something that was like a backup as well, and I was in desperate need of a new phone. I only get new phones like, I don't know, once every 4 or 5 years. Like, this is literally my second phone that is actually a smartphone. So 3 phones ago, I was still rocking a flip. I don't like to get into contracts though, so I generally will buy an unlocked phone and keep it at that, because I'm not big on like phone contracts and stuff. I know you can get a big discount and everything. Well, apparently it seems like a discount. I don't know. If you actually look at all the money you pay over time on your phone, it might be more expensive. You got him hooked on eBay, so that's why your dad got a smartphone? Yeah, I always go with unlocked and pay to play models, pretty much. You know, just pay by the month. Yeah, like Virgin. Yeah. Appropriately enough. You're too hard on yourself, Dave. It'll come. No worries. Oh, I like the way the mask looks.
Yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
What? So good.
I was actually expecting the mask to look a lot better than Inosuke himself, because I know you prefer to draw like animals and monsters and stuff. So.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely my jam. I would draw nothing but Monster Hunter monsters until the end of time.
Oh yeah, audience, the new Razor, that thing is stupidly expensive, but the technology actually looks really sweet. I can't wait until it drops, down into human amounts of money to get it, because it looks sweet. I hope it works properly this time. I remember, what was it, Galaxy? Was it
Yeah, it was
Samsung that
bad.
did the last flip out?
Flip out.
Flip out. The last flip smartphone, and it did not go well. I think it was like a Galaxy 9 flip or Galaxy 10 flip, something like that. It went really bad though. Oh yeah, definitely, Dave. It's really cool technology, but I'm of the same mindset. If I see cool technology, I'll put it on follow and I'll wait. I'll wait for the prices to drop, and I'll wait for it to get a little bit more refined. That's like the way with 3D printers are. 2 years ago, 3D printers like didn't have half the materials they can work with today, and they were a total mess. Now you can, and they were really expensive too. Now you can actually get a really, really good 3D printer for like 160, $200, and yeah, it'll work like awesomely. I'm just curious how different it looks on your screen versus the monitor.
Yeah, the monitor kind of pulls it out a little bit. His face looks shorter on the tablet.
How far behind am I on the stream? I just looked down at the stream and I noticed that it like deleted, like it was when you like crossed out the last mask, I guess. I was like, wait, that ain't happening. I looked at the monitor and I looked at yours and I'm like, oh. And then I noticed the stream on the iPad is way behind.
Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze, but it didn't happen.
I was getting my bless yous ready too.
I wonder why Tanjiro doesn't wear the fox mask.
You're too financially irresponsible to have unexpensive technology. If you really want something to kind of keep your interest as far as... Actually, this might be something if you can get into it, audience. Like I said, 3D printers are not that bad. If you do 3D modeling, you could create some really cool stuff and maybe start up an Etsy. Start funding yourself. Whenever you're working or doing studies for class, you can just be printing up various stuff and then sell it. Or actually, you know what? You don't even need a printer. If you can do 3D modeling, bro, audience, there's a lot of money to be made with STL files and 3D files for 3D printers. If you have spare time and you can like make some like cosplay files of like popular items from like anime and games, you could totally start up a site where you just sell the files that you made. Like, there's people that right now, because only, I think, 2 creators have made, say, Die Hardman's mask from Death Stranding. They're both charging like $11 per download of the file for that mask, so you can print it. So if you're in the 3D that 3D object territory, you know, throw some of that together for a little bit of side money, you know. Yeah, Dave, it sounds like you and I got a lot in common, but we already knew that. There's so many. I've got boxes and boxes of Ami stuff that hasn't seen the light of day in a while, so yeah. I'm hoping that someday, maybe I'll just be able to sell through all my duplicates and I'll be able to retire off that. Even simple files, audience, I see tons of, hey, audio, what's going on? I see tons of stuff that's just like basic models, like really, really simple stuff. Like a lot of creators just kind of want models. They're fine with just models that just kind of put them in the right neighborhood for the print, and then they'll go in and kind of just throw in a few extra pixels and polygons to perfect it, so they can print it. That way they don't have to bump it up from scratch. You keep hoping to wake up as a millionaire? Well, I think that's the dream for all of us. Yeah, if you just got some spare time, audience, with your education and skills, I've just being someone that wants to make like the cosplay stuff easier on us. I've noticed a lot of ways that you can make money if you've got those kind of skills. Like you can just make files, put them up on Thingiverse or a site of your own, and sell them. If you put them up on Thingiverse, I think there's like a donation thing there, so folks, if they get your files and they print them, they can actually leave you donations. I've left a couple of people donations that really gave us some good files, so there's a lot to be had there. I know a lot of the cosplayers out there who've gotten used to making their own templates and 3D imaging. They actually sell files too, but theirs are not so much the 3D department as like they'll make templates that you can just print out on 8x11 paper, put it over foam, and then you can cut it out, and boom, you've got what you're looking for. Hey, Briggs, how's it going? You doing alright tonight? Audio, how are you doing? Sorry I didn't ask before. I was right in the middle of saying something. I didn't want to forget it, because you guys know I get derailed if I look or say anything that's not entirely on topic. I just realized your head thing is like so tall it goes up out of the window.
Does it? Oh, you're right.
I'll have to scoot you down a little bit.
A Christmas beam.
Yeah, that'll probably be me someday, Dave. I'll just have to go and open up all the boxes here and at the archive. I'm like, let's sell it. But at least it is there to sell, and a lot of the stuff has actually been appreciated in value quite a bit. Oh, nice. I've got a buddy who loves Shadow of Mordor. He's played the crud out of it. I really enjoyed the reading the books, the Lord of the Rings books, and watching the movies, but I've never been able to really get into a Lord of the Rings game. I think it's the darker aesthetic of it. I don't know. There's something with it that doesn't really keep me interested for too long. I loved it with the books and the movies, but for gaming, I just can't seem to get into it. You gonna go sell your roommate's stuff? He won't miss this. Sell your roommate? Nothing gets you out of debt like a little bit of old-fashioned human trafficking. This channel in no way endorses human trafficking, by the way. An adventure to unknown lands. And unknown job descriptions. You know, Briggs, I was actually kind of thinking I was actually interested in the Orc Nemesis system. I didn't play the game, but I actually did stop to read about that because I thought it was such an interesting mechanic. Even if I
That's
don't.
actually why I bought that game.
Wait, you bought that game?
Yeah.
What?
It's over there somewhere.
I never even saw you play it.
I played it. Didn't that come out like way when the system came out?
Something like that.
I think I played it mostly at school, maybe?
Audio on the emote wall. I'm not sure how much space we've got left on there right now. I'm hoping to upgrade to Discord Nitro here pretty soon, so that should get us more space, but how do you get those? Can you actually transfer those emotes that, like, move? Those motion ones? All the ones I've seen are, like, stickers. I didn't know if you could do the the emotion ones. And Briggs, the new Zeno cannot come out soon enough, I'll tell you that. I do know that, you remember Monolith Soft actually said a while back that they wanted to do a more traditional, like, medieval style game, and they actually had some concept art for it. I'm not sure if they're planning on working on that first, and then the next Xeno, or what. Oh, that's your sister is volunteering in an anti-human trafficking operation. So, man, that's actually really cool of her. I didn't know you could just volunteer for that kind of work. I thought that would be almost all, like, entirely government sanctioned and hush hush because, well, she probably just would she do like just help out with like small things, because that seems like a lot of details on that you would want to keep under wraps. Like supporting folks that have been rescued, maybe? Oh, Xenojiva. My bad, Briggs. I thought you were talking about Xenoblade. I'm thinking he's gonna be coming with the 4th title update. Because you guys remember, I think they did what? It was 4 title updates for Monster Hunter World, right? Before they were finished? There's like one in line with almost every festival, like a week or 2 before each of the festivals. Or was it 5? I think it's going to be the last one, though.
Oops.
Because with the developer diary, you noticed outside of that one little slip up in the armor section, where they showed the Safi Jiva gear, they made sure not to mention the Black Dragon at all. It wasn't even in the American trailer when they first released it. It was only in the Japanese side trailer. So I think they were really not intending for the American audience to see it yet at all. So I'm thinking it's going to be the last one. Oh, so you think you have to have Discord Nitro to be able to get them to move audio? That probably is the case. I could see that being a reason for people would want to get Nitro. I don't think it's going to be the anniversary, Briggs. I think that's going to actually be... I think the anniversary is going to be one of those independent... the anniversary stuff and the celebrations are usually independent from the main title updates. If they go with what World had, World was like title... It was a festival, and then like 2 weeks later, maybe, I think it was 2 weeks, maybe 3... they went with, then it was a main title update, which was Devil Joe. And then they had another festival, and then a couple weeks later, the second update. And then the next festival, the third update. The anniversary festival, and then the last update. And then at that point, they were like, okay, so you guys have Arch-Tempered Nergigante and everything now, so now you just gotta wait till Iceborne. And then we were kind of without content for, like, from March till September? So I'm thinking there's gonna be 4 updates, and my guess would be that, Big Guy's gonna be in that last one.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, Milo. You okay, buddy? He's having a sneeze attack.
You good, bud?
Aw, that kind of ruined your nap, didn't it? You alright? You look so tired. You good? No? You got another one? Uh-oh.
Oh.
Did you inhale some dust out of your box? Look at he's totally got the Garfield look on his face right now when Garfield pretty much looks like at any time, how he always looks.
Bless you, buddy.
Yep, bless you, bud. Have a good nap. If you go back to sleep, he might clean himself now. He may have got a little snotty. Well, man, that's really cool of your sister, Dave. You and your family got all these cool occupations. You're at the kennel, and she's helping with folks that have been victims of human trafficking or fighting against it. I mean, that's awesome stuff. Audience says, bless you too, buddy. Blessings from the internet. Yeah, right, Briggs. I mean, it was kind of anticlimactic for them to be like, "Hey, here's your Stygian Zinogre," and then, ooh, what's this at the end? Something that will make you completely disregard Stygian Zinogre. So Stygian came out, enjoyed the limelight for all of like 20 seconds, and then it was like, oh man. Hey, scrapbooking is like memory curating, and everyone needs tires, right? Gotta get from one place to the next. At least till teleporters get here. Or flying cars, but I don't even want to think about flying cars. Everyone is gonna die.
Yeah, unless those things drive themselves, that's probably a bad idea.
Actually, have you guys heard anything about how in Dubai they're supposed to be training police officers on large drone motorcycles? Like, they're actually like large flying motorcycles. Training has begun, and they don't expect it to end. They don't expect to actually deploy them for years, but yeah, in Dubai there might be flying cops here soon. Yeah, you're right. Flying cars will still need tires because they do have to be on the land at some point.
Oh, you're right. Even airplanes have tires. I don't even know what's going on with my layers anymore.
Edgelord Zinogre makes his return. His gear, did you guys watch the dev diary? The gear actually looks really sweet. I was hoping they would keep it looking good, not make it too Western, I guess, is what they're doing with World, but yeah, it looks good. The two epic artists, the first and the greatest survival situation, aka Samurai Cat plus Geisha Cat, with their faithful companion Cat in a box. What's going on, Hugh? How you doing tonight?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, drones are really friggin' noisy. Like, we have one that we got on clearance at a local hobby store. It's a DJI and everything, but we even put the rotors that reduce the noise, and it's still like really attention grabbing. Like even at 150 feet, people are still like, "Oh my God, what is that?" Right, Briggs? Here's your Stygian and Ogre. Look at him. Oh, pet, pet, pet. And then out comes the Bugatti Veyron. What? Alrighty, Hugh. Thanks for dropping by. Farewell and Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully we'll get to see you before Christmas.
Merry Christmas if we don't see ya.
Selling all your Supernatural Blu-ray, Dave? It's next on the chopping block, huh? I think the last time I bought a Blu-ray was I bought the movie Redline, the anime movie Redline, because it was like $4. I do really like some of the collector's editions that Blu-rays get, though. I'm still thinking about that Big O, to be honest. Ooh, that sounds rough, Briggs. We know exactly where you're coming from. When I was playing, every here and there, like, the cats will just fall in love with something from one of the games we're playing, and they'll go up and they're like kittens again. They just have to chase it anytime it's on screen. Luckily, we used to have the trouble where they almost toppled the TVs before, but we got like a standing mount for them now, so they can rub against them all they want. They're not gonna knock them over.
It would take something real serious to knock one of those down now.
Redline had that revolutionary animation and the style too. Like I wanted to keep calling. I keep thinking every time I think of Redline's main character, his name is eluding me at the moment. Him and Travis Touchdown. Like it makes me seeing Redline makes me really want a No More Heroes anime. Because I think if they did a No More Heroes anime in the style of Redline, it would be frickin' flawless. Oh, your cat was climbing on the TV.
Oh,
That's always scary. When we had ours mounted to the wall, that's the reason we didn't go with a wall mount this time. We went with it's like a standing, one of those heavy-duty standing mounts, because we mount them right next to each other. I think we've shown you guys. We did that so there's no way they can get on top of it. Like, there really isn't. They're too thin for them to get on. And because when we had them up on the wall, our cats would actually find ways to get up on top of the TV, and they would just sleep on top of the TV between the wall and the TV, and it made us so nervous. Oh, Milo decided to... I just noticed he's laying the other way now. Maybe he won't get the dust. What a way to wake up, though. Having a good sleep, then all of a sudden you just gotta let out this barrage of sneezes.
Poor baby.
Oh, it's your kitty from the Death Stranding tunnel. That was a really cool picture. If I were you, I'd post that on like if you're on any social media like Facebook or any, you should throw that up there with some Death Stranding tags. I bet some people get a kick out of that. Folks on the internet love that stuff. So what have they revealed the price on that Connecticut's Zinogre, Dave? Like, I'm too afraid to even look at the price. I can look at pictures all day, but man, when I start seeing decimals and dollar signs, Connecticut's is terrifying. Okay, so the price and everything is gonna be... How much do you think it's gonna be, Dave? I'm guessing... I'm gonna say maybe 1,200. Between 800 to 1,200. I'd say in that range.
Oh, man.
Did you see that Connecticut's figure, though?
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole diorama with the hunters and everything, too?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That thing is like the size of a dinner plate around and like 1.5 feet tall or something.
You think it's going to be that expensive?
Oh, nice. You think you might be getting some figure builders for Christmas, Briggs? That's sweet. You'll love them. Figure builders are great. Like, they really are. They're some of the best desk figures you could ask for, in my opinion. Oh, so the dioramas sold in like in chunks then, Dave? Man, that I guess if you don't want the hunter, but since Zinogre's kind of built around them, I'd want the whole set, but oof, that is quite a bit. I know, right, Audio? Man, fake gaming news is some of the worst, because I always end up, like, I like to go to just my, my news section in my phone and just kind of glance through everything real fast, but it's never... Hey, the Burning One, how you doing?
Oh, hello.
It has been a long time. Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, fake gaming news is some of the worst, because I'm someone who, I just kind of glance through news whenever I can, and a lot of the times I see something and I'm like, man, I don't have any time to fact check it, and then I'll mention it to like a friend or something, and like, dude, that was totally a fake bit of news, and it's just embarrassing. Plus, it wastes your time and starts up a lot of bad rumors, because a lot of people really go for it. Yeah, that Lao Shan lung, I'm really thinking about, Briggs. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I'm a bit gun shy, but it did go down in price, which is the only reason I'm thinking on it, because it was over 300 when they first released it, and then the price dropped. So I'm thinking maybe it was maybe it was too expensive, and they didn't get nearly the amount of pre-orders they were hoping on it. So I'm thinking they're kind of like, hey guys, how about now? We good? Oh, one of those, man. The news when it comes to like remakes and remasters is always a pain, because it's actually kind of hard to fact check that stuff usually. Not to mention, I get really excited about a lot of remakes and remasters. I want them to be true so much that it kind of puts me in a mode where I'm like, I don't even want to know if it's fake. I just want to pretend it's real. Oh, speaking of remasters, oh well. It's a remaster of a remake, technically. Are any of you guys getting Star Ocean? I think it's tomorrow. The First Departure R. If you guys are fans of Star Ocean and haven't played it, I played it back when it came out on PSP. It's really good, and I've seen that they've added a lot of stuff, like double time and 2 times movement speed. All the stuff like you saw in Trails of Cold Steel. So do you think you'll be getting, like... Are you unsure which ones you're gonna get, Briggs? Do you think maybe they'll get you, like, a box? or just kind of the blind boxes? Oh yeah, Lavasiath's been around for quite a while. I remember when they brought him out too. He was one of the most hated monsters for quite some time.
Oh, was that hip check?
Yeah, he inherited Plesioth's ridiculous hip check, but also a hard armor mode when his lava cooled. He was basically Lavasiath but worse, or Plesioth but worse. Oh man, Burning One. If you haven't had the chance to play the other Star Oceans, they're great. It's kind of an off and on series. They kind of bounce around a little bit. Star Ocean 2 and 1 were my favorites, but Till the End of Time was really, really good too. And The Last Hope was really good. If you're into more like funny scripts, The Last Hope was hilarious. Hey, Natsu, what's going on? It has been a little while. Damn. Hope you're doing good. We are drawing Inosuke Hashibira from Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. It is Hashibira, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I keep wanting to... Harashibara, for some reason, is the name I keep wanting to say. Anytime I see his last name.
Hashibira.
Yes, Briggs, the way the figure builders come, have you seen any of our unboxing videos for the figure builders? Or are you talking the small ones or the big ones? Sorry, I should have asked you that in the beginning. So the small ones are the just figure builders? Those are the ones that just come, they're like an inch or two tall? 3 inches in some cases? The big ones, though, are figure builders, but they're called creators models. That's how we differentiate them. Is the little ones are figure builders, the big ones are creator models. Okay, so yeah, those are the figure builders. They come in, all the figures originally come out in volumes. Each volume is basically a big box that has anywhere between 6. If they're the plus figures, which are the kind of bigger monsters, they'll come in a box full of 6. And if you buy the box, you actually get all the figures because they're all included. There's one of each in the box. Now, what you can do, what a lot of sites want you to do, is to buy the blind boxes separate, where they'll just go in, open the big box, and they sell out the blind boxes. You have no idea what's in the boxes, but they sell them individually. Generally, they'll sell them for anywhere from like 10 to 25 a piece, I've seen. Which can be really lucrative because generally a box, if you get it brand new, if you pre-order it on AmiAmi, you'll spend maybe 35 to 45 bucks for the whole set. And you consider if you buy the box for like 45 and then you sell all 6 figures at 15 bucks, 20 bucks a piece, you can make a pretty decent profit on it. You can double up if you want, triple up depending on who your buyers are. That's how the conventions will get you. They buy those blind box. They'll have us buy the blind box.
Or sometimes they'll charge a ton to give you, like, if you want a specific one that's already been opened.
Yeah, there are some of them that actually become really, really popular. And they can actually open those up. And those, like, I've seen one figure sell for, like, 3 times the price of what you could get the whole set for if you got it at market value. They probably will get the actual box, though, because that's the best way to go, is just grab the box. Now, granted, I don't want to undersell the excitement, though, of having a good blind box every here and there. Because if you buy the whole set, it does kind of kill the excitement of it being blind box. Because it's like, you know, if you just get one box, it's like, what's in it? Which one am I going to get? And you open it up, and you're surprised. So, there's a bit of excitement to be had there. Alright, Briggs, we'll see you when you come back, if you come back. So, Natsu, what have you been up to lately, bro? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Uh-oh. It looks like Monster Hunter might have pulled a quick one on us. It's saying that the update is now live?
Uh-oh.
It's supposed to be the 5th that it comes. Oh, you know what? It probably means in Japan.
Oh, fudge. Yeah, they did that with, Rajang, too.
Yeah.
Do we need to make videos?
We can do it after the stream.
I don't know how much longer this is gonna take. I'm still on line art.
That's alright.
Okay.
I saw that there was a tweet saying that it went live. I was like, huh? But I think it means in Japan, because, you know, it's tomorrow in Japan.
I wonder if it goes live at the same time for everybody?
I don't think so. It'd be funny if we could, like, put our PS4s into, like, Japan region, though, and access it early. Although, if that were the case, I think we'd end up doing that for, like, every week. Like, to get a little bit of a head start every week. We would have to move the streams back to Tuesday. I was curious, do any of you guys see any noticeable difference with the cat avatars by chance? I upped the resolution on them and increased the refresh, and I can't see any difference.
Yeah, they seem the same to me.
I'm glad you were off, Natsu. Did you get any good food for Thanksgiving? Spend some time with the fam? The old turkey. Nice and traditional. We were just talking about turkey last week. I was a turkey last week, actually. That's Portia. She's saying hello to everybody. Man, we were just saying how we missed you last week, Natsu. Rags and Mercy and I, we were all talking about how we've been missing you for a while. Hoping everything was good with you. She took over my lap.
She looks really comfy. Greta's doing a freeze.
Krita?
There we go.
So you're gonna have him, like, holding an onigiri, or?
Yeah, that is the plan. If I can ever draw a pair of arms. Jeepus.
Maybe you're thinking in the back of your head, I don't have to draw those arms. I am those arms.
Why am I wearing sleeves right now? I'm giving myself problems.
I can't be a bicep model for you, sorry.
Well, yeah, you could.
Nope. I could be a tree model for you. A stick?
Tree?
Stick.
What? No.
Stick.
You won't hold your arm up like you're gonna eat something? What kind of face is that? Kind of looks like he's like, yes.
Oh, you've been playing Monster Hunter World, Natsu? Do you got Iceborne? Have you been enjoying it? Oh yeah, audio. Did they bring that over here though, audio? Because I was seeing a lot of articles on it being regional only, and not being available over here. Although I wouldn't be surprised if those are fake articles, but. Can you imagine running around the world of Code Vein in a bath towel?
That sounds like the
Like,
worst idea.
I don't care how great your weapon is, just rolling around, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get poked on the walls, on the roads. Something is going to give you an infection, and you are going to die.
You will die.
Fake gamer news. Oh, so okay, so the outcry. See, that's what I don't get is why here in the West we complain about like everything. There's so much like cancel culture really is like, hey, you can't have anyone dressing like that. They can't look like that. You can't have this because you need to censor this. You need to censor that. And then they want to get mad because we don't get the bath towel in Code Vein, so we're gonna fight for the bath towel.
We didn't get it?
Oh, Audio said that we got it after all the outcry of it. I mean,
Wait, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but
hey, welcome back, Briggs.
they made it and give us the bath towel.
Well, I mean, they made it, but that doesn't mean that we want it, right? I want it. I don't care. I've been gaming and playing JRPGs and everything since way back. So,
I mean, I probably wouldn't use it, but I still want the option to not use it.
I mean, I really hate censoring. Honestly, I want my games the way I want. I want them to be loyal and completely complete with in line with the creative freedoms and the creative vision that the original developer had for it. I mean, if that's what they wanted in the game, then that's how I want it. I don't want it to go through a bunch of censoring and get changed and everything. We need pure, unadulterated development content.
How do crap do delts work?
Yeah, you can't make everyone happy, Briggs. That's for absolute certain. And honestly, when you look at the bath towel in Code Vein, it's honestly really it's pretty conservative, to be honest.
Especially the dudes, it like goes to the floor. Like, why is it so long?
I mean, if you think about it, honestly, the bath towel is probably more modest than some of the outfits that are being worn, like the actual clothes. Like, I think it's the director of Tekken 7 that just does not give a damn. Like, he actually challenges the folks who are like all about censorship and everything. Like, he releases, like, he tweets all the time about stuff. Like, he knows that's gonna trigger them. He's like, yep, I'm not changing it. Sorry, not gonna censor my stuff. Right, Briggs? I mean, anytime there's changes, someone's going to get mad. If you don't change things, there's already people mad. I mean, it's a pretty rough time to be a developer these days. And a lot of gamers out there wonder why, like, developers are so gun-shy about releasing their games. There's just a lot of toxicity waiting for most developers out there. Now, granted, even Capcom, they've been doing great. Like, Capcom's been doing nothing. In my opinion, Capcom, the only wrong that Capcom has ever done, and I've been a fan of theirs since I was a kid, every year, no matter what my rotation of games is, I've always got a Capcom title in there somewhere. The world's finally noticing that they are as truly great as they are. But even with Capcom's awesome streak the past 4 or 5 years, you guys probably still remember when they were about to release Devil May Cry 5 last year, the word microtransactions was uttered, and the internet went bonkers over it. And it turns out it was just like Devil May Cry 4. You can buy some red orbs to save some time. That's pretty much it. It ended up all being okay. But like, people were trying to get them to delay the game or cancel the game or get people to cancel their pre-orders and everything just after that. It's like, man, come on, have some faith. Capcom's great, and they've been doing really great. Either side, audio. Whichever one you want. Or both, if you can do both. Man, Street Fighter V is something else, Dave. Man, Capcom cannot get a break when it comes to Street Fighter V. I didn't actually play too much of Street Fighter V, so I have heard that they did kind of really drop the ball on that. So I can't speak from personal experience too much, but I do know, I do have a few friends who are some Street Fighter fans that weren't happy at all, and still aren't. SFV is Street Fighter V, Briggs. When it comes to fighting games, I'll mess around with Street Fighter a little bit, but my big ones is if it's a game by Axis, Arc System Works kind of makes the games I love. Unless they brought out another Bloody Roar or Bushido Blade, I would have a lot of interest in those. Or Power Stone. That's what Capcom needs to do. They need to bring out Power Stone. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from most people on Need for Speed Heat, Dave. That sucks. I really like Need for Speed Underground. I think EA's just kind of really been trying a little too hard to hit that good note that they did with Underground so many years ago. Like, they did it really, really well. I want a new Burnout. See? Portia agrees. She wants a new Burnout too. She's like, the last one came out before I was even born, but you know what? I'm all for it. Yeah, I know it's dead, Dave. I can hope though. I mean, look, Saints Row is about to make a comeback, and I thought for sure Saints Row was gone.
Saints Row is what?
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting a new Saints Row next year. No one knows yet if it's going to maintain the same kind of wacky drive that it's been on for the past two games, or if it's going to go back to the more serious original roots. A lot, like, the audience is cut in half on that. You know, half want the original Saints Row, the more serious, like, gang stuff, and then the other half want the crazy, 3, 4, and Got Out of Hell. Criterion, I don't think as that brand exists. I believe someone bought them, though. I think someone bought them and they're currently under a rebrand. Maybe. I think I read that a while back. Or maybe I had a dream because I wanted it to be. I'm with you, audience. I loved Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, and Gat Out of Hell. Man, those were such good games to just pick up, play for a while, just enjoy the music, enjoy the action of it. Like, I loved them so much. Like in Grand Theft Auto, those kind of games where you can collect a bunch of stuff. I've never, with no Grand Theft Auto or any of those, have I gone and actually gone into the world and sought out all of the collectibles. Saints Row 3, 4, and Gat Out of Hell, I wanted to make excuses to keep playing them after I beat them, so I went and 100%ed them. So I really hope they keep with the craziness of Saints Row 3, 4, and Gat Out of Hell. Burnout Paradise was actually really good. I think Burnout Takedown was my favorite out of all of them. Burnout Paradise was really, really close, but I don't know. With Burnout Takedown, I remember that was back on Xbox or 360, and you remember how you could download your music from CDs and stuff into the Xbox and the Xbox 360, and you could play your own music. I don't know. I just can think back on Burnout Takedown, and just going and taking down everyone, or taking down and getting the revenge crashes on the other racers. And it every time it seemed like my music would sync up with the action, and it was just so great. I can remember it so well. But the whole Burnout series was great. I really missed that series. Oh, you can even color the bath towels? I mean, you actually made them look pretty good. You made the red bath towel actually looks like a dress with your blood veil on. And with the dude, he actually kind of looks like he makes me think of a Roman gladiator, like in their dress garb, the skirt.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like that.
Can you put designs on the towels too? Because if you can put designs on them, I might have to actually consider that. I was just thinking it was a plain old boring white towel, but then when you showed me the picture, I was like, oh, this is Code Vein. There is no such thing as plain old white. Unless you just absolutely will it to be so. And the Arkham games were really good, Briggs. The Arkham games were actually one of my first reasons for buying an LED HD TV. I know, right, Dave? I kind of felt some kinship when I said that, too. It's like, man, I need to do more with myself. Dave, I remember in Burnout Takedown, that was was it Burnout Takedown or Revenge? The one where they actually gave you the ability to slow down time and control the trajectory your car was taking to increase the damage that you did? Actually, was it? I'm pretty sure it was Takedown that did that first. I remember, though, going into the crash mode once, and the music that was playing on my Xbox at the time was what is it? I'm losing my brain here. My thoughts, all of them. One Winged Angel, Sephiroth theme from Final Fantasy VII, and I will never forget that. It was like just going down the highway, just spinning out and crashing into everything. My car flipping into all these different groups of vehicles, doing crazy amounts of damage, and all to that theme. It's a fantastic memory and experience.
Face and mouth and
Uh-oh. Give me one moment, guys. I need to police a kitty. We've got one in here that he's been having some urinary issues, so I'm gonna make sure he's okay. What's up, buddy? Yeah, you good? Good. Okay, he's good. Sorry about that. I just noticed he wandered in, so I figured I might as well take the chance to check him out. Burnout Legends. Yeah, I think it was pretty much like a scaled down version of Burnout 3. Do you ever think it's crazy when you look back at a series and you're kind of like, you look at how many games they were released and think about the fact there had to be at least 1 year between each of those games. And it's like, you ever think, how much time did I throw into that franchise? Like, I don't even want to think about Final Fantasy. That's probably the worst one to think about, that one. Yeah. But even like Monster Hunter, been playing it since PS2. So, man, a lot of hours for every single one of them. But like Burnout, I was really a fan of the series, but I didn't even think about it till now. Like, 1, 2, 3, Revenge, Takedown, Legends, Paradise. That's a lot of games. Burnout did have a really good normal soundtrack built into it too, though. So did Need for Speed Underground. Like I remember Need for Speed Underground. Like it was one of those games when the menu, I would leave it at the menu just so it would play through the different songs. Like it was almost like a radio station for me. Hey, audio, you could always make it like glow and put a bunch of spikes down on the hem of it. Actually, are you able to put anything on the actual towel? Like if you go into character creation, can you select the clothing, like the towel is clothing to put on it? I don't even know if it moves, but... Demon Slayer soundtrack sounds like a really good RPG soundtrack. Oh dear, Dave, I've heard that Lego is a crazy thing to get into collecting. There's actually, you probably already know of it, Dave, but there is one really good Lego channel. I used to play with Legos and collect them when I was younger, but I haven't had an interest myself. I still like to see what other people do with them, though. And, what is the name of the channel? I'm subscribed to him. I can't even remember it at the moment. I think it's just like Lego blocks or Legos or something. But he actually has a room dedicated to his Lego builds. Like he has like super lighting in there, has a massive like replicated city. Like he's got a huge setup, like millions of Legos. Oh yeah, Jang's Bricks. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking Lego, but yeah, Jang's Bricks. Man, I would love to have that room that he's got his Legos in, though, for a workshop. The lighting in there is freaking fantastic. Audience, that's a good question. So in the sets, there's just, I mean, the reason to get the sets would be like, what, unique character heads and parts? Otherwise, I mean, yeah, if you're creative enough, you can kind of just make anything from any set out of whatever you got if you've got a good collection. I'm not that creative. I would get the set so I could have directions on how to build, like, you know, an X-Wing or something, but... Alright, the colors. Yeah, a few ideas came to mind, audio. I'll definitely be attaching stuff to it. Off the top of my head, I would say have the hem just be a bunch of different colored skulls. Or maybe those birds. I like the bird pins. I could supersize them so they like just look absolutely ridiculous. With a towel, you could just kind of cover yourself in giant pendants.
Put some onigiri on
You put onigiri all over it?
Mm.
This is my picnic towel. I'm just wearing it. Because, you know, gotta kill demons and all. You gotta eat and move. Eat and move. You cut your construction career short, huh, Dave? In lieu of swords and Kit Ray. And Monster Hunter. And lots of Blu-rays. One of the reasons I'm glad you joined us, though, Dave, is because you're a fellow you're an obsessive collector like me, who I can just relate to. Feels nice to not be the only one who's just completely irresponsible with their money. You're more responsible than me, though, because you actually sell stuff. I just box it away. I've converted a couple of my friends to be kind of compulsive collectors like we are so far, Dave, but well, Jose is he's there. He definitely has the desire for it, but he's a family man, so he can't afford to throw too much money at the hobby, but he still gets some really nice stuff though. Like he got that really big 2B statue that came out a couple months ago. I was thinking about getting that one, but I was like, I've already got the Figma and the Brain Arts and some other stuff. It's like, do I need more 2B? If you start your own channel, Dave, you should definitely do some unboxing. Because while money is definitely not the first thing for us on the channel, I would be extremely, extremely delighted if, you know, Ami or or Nis America or any of the groups that we actually do unboxing a lot of their stuff for, if they, you know, just send us an email and be like, you don't even have to give me stuff for free, just give me a discount. Or if we got nearly enough views on an unboxing, if we ever got to the point where the amount of views we got to unbox something actually paid off the item that we unboxed, I would consider life complete. Yeah, Ami has done well by us. Anytime we retweet them, they treat us better than anyone, really. Nipponichi Software has done a few things for us as well, which we really appreciate. But man, Ami goes the extra mile. They say stuff about us they make a post on Facebook and on Twitter. So they're really, really good about folks when they want to retweet or say they're unboxing or opening stuff from them. They treat folks good. I'm hoping if we get them to retweet enough stuff, maybe someone at their PR department will be like, hey, these guys are opening up a lot of stuff. Maybe we should give them maybe a tab or something, a discount. Would be fantastic. Yeah, it seems whoever is in their PR department really, really loves cats. Because usually whenever they repost something or retweet something, they don't say much. But for our post, they always seem to... They really, really like to talk about the fact that we have cats in the videos.
Yeah, they always say stuff that makes it seem like they actually watched it all the way through.
I think they do.
Cats are quite precious in Japan. Cat girls are really big there, but I think they're actually... I think they're... This is just my opinion, but I think the whole anthro and cat girl thing, not just cat girls, but other thing, is kind of growing on the West. I know everyone still likes to hate on it when they can. But if you think about, like, Inosuke, the most popular character in Demon Slayer, he's, like, low-key a furry.
Oh, yeah.
He's a 14-year-old psychopath serial killer furry. That's there's no getting around it. That's what he is. And we have Beastars came over here recently. It started airing. Beastars is getting really popular. I think it's growing on people. It's the beginning of a revolution. Which should be fine by me, honestly. I have a couple friends that are furries, and I mean, we know a lot of them and we met them at cons. They're some of the nicest people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Beastars is actually, have you read or seen any of Beastars, Dave? I find it really fascinating. Like, I'm current with the manga, and while the manga has a lot of ridiculous scenarios, it's still quite human concept. They just use human drama with animal actors, and man, I'm honestly really impressed with it. The message that the creator is trying to get across is very clear, and I think it's a message that the world kind of needs to get behind. Yeah, it's all about acceptance and tolerance and trying to people just trying to get along and make it in a world where nature has pretty much cast them against one another. It's a fantastic manga. If you ever want something to read that's just quite out of the ordinary, definitely pick it up. Netflix will probably see it in like 9 months or something.
9 months. You might not be wrong.
Well, isn't Netflix supposed to start doing not simuldubs, simulcast here pretty soon? You can have a baby in that time.
Oh, I forgot to give him ears. Who needs them? I just realized he's taking a bite out of a whole onigiri.
Some of those onigiri are ridiculously huge.
But, like, it should have a bite out of it.
You already put heat up? Got those quick listings down pat. Whenever you start selling stuff in your collection's probably like, on Apple products, whenever you choose like an app to get, when you click on an app and hold it, how like all the other apps start shaking like they're scared. Like whenever I could just see Dave just like, you listed. And then the rest of his collection is just like metaphorically shaking in its boots. Like, oh no, what will we be next? Oh, Natsu, is it for Iceborne that you got an update? What was your old GoPro model, Dave? I'm just out of curiosity. I think it's a 5. Need for Speed goes like the little aliens in Toy Story when the crane chooses the claw. If it's for Iceborne, Briggs, then nah, feel free. Let me check. Audio. I was in the update this time?
What?
Really?
No way.
Man, they did keep that on the down low then. I honestly figured they would be saving it for one of the last updates, Dave. I mean, it makes me wonder what they've got set up for the next few updates, though. Oh, you did a nice job on his musculature there.
Yeah, for real.
I know that's usually not one of your strong suits.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun.
Not usually.
It's not one of my strong suits to draw a strong suit. But no, it looks good. I like it. Yeah, that really makes me wonder. I'm thinking that, man, that kind of makes me a bit more excited about what the future updates are going to have then. Because if he's been put out this time, then surely we can get something cooler. Maybe Fatalis has a chance, or a Latrion.
Oh man, Electric.
Hey, she's been studying. I don't know where she's been studying. Definitely not at home. She's been looking at herself in the mirror. She's like, yeah, so that's how I draw this. That's how I draw that. Okay. Well, dang, I guess that means we're going to have to start doing videos as soon as the stream is over then tonight.
It's gonna be a late night.
Yep, I didn't expect him to bring it out today. Figures with the Rajang update, we would have been ready because we were ready to postpone and everything. And then this time is when they bring it out.
Because it says December 5th, but they're like, ah, Japan time, haha. It's the 4th for you.
Yeah. Hey, where you going?
Yeah, they did a really good job. They're, like, Capcom is always really good at keeping... If they don't want people to know about a monster, they're usually pretty good at it. Like, with Shara, I don't think anything was really leaked about Shara ahead of time.
Portia knows about that, Shara.
Portia knows about demanding me petting her.
Hmm.
An odd relationship with the Olive Garden? I like their breadsticks. And unlimited shrimp when they have it. Oh wait, maybe that's Red Lobster. It's unlimited pasta at Olive Garden. Yeah, Behemoth can be a real pain with just 2 people, Briggs. Sasha and I usually mostly duo everything. We've even gone and duoed what's her face, Call of Teroth before. We didn't get much for it because apparently it was built to where you don't get too much for it. I mean, we could probably do it now in Master Rank gear, but Call of when they actually first released the Fatalis used to be a fight you had to do in sections. You had to go in, you had like 15 minutes to wound him and repel him. And you basically just kept repelling him until he finally died, because he would keep his damage between quests. So you kind of go in, hit him with all your ballistas, hit him with all your firepower, and then bust him up with your weapons, and then he'd run away or die. Usually it'd take 3 or 4 times to beat him, so it was like an hour-long fight. But you got parts every time, thankfully. I've heard the Cheesecake Factory can actually change your view on a lot of restaurants, because they're actually supposed to be really, really good. I've only ever had the cheesecake, but I've heard their entrees are quite good.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah, I haven't had their entrees myself. I've only had their cheesecake. You are ruined. It has ruined you. Yes, Porsche. I'm sorry. I stopped petting you for a millisecond.
You're not done.
I'm being ordered by order of the people and the people's cat that I have to. I have to pet Portia endlessly and unconditionally. Starving yourself between visits, but then you'll just spend more money, Dave. I've looked at their menu. It can be a little bit pricey. But if you're saying it's that good, maybe it's actually worth taking the dive and giving those entrees a shot. Ah, mac and cheese burger? I've only had those. There's like a breakfast joint around here. What's it called? Carla's?
Mm-hmm.
Mama Carla's or something like that.
Where is it?
The one down off of the expressway. I've told you about it a couple times. Norma's. It's Norma. Big Mama Carl. Where do I come up with this? It's Norma's Cafe. I'm pretty sure they're a big chain. They got a mac and cheese burger that's to die for, though. Mama Carla's. Almost sounds like a Metal Gear name. Big Mama Carla's. So it's the trope where you take a bite and you start sobbing. It's not quite the trope where you take a bite and all your clothes fly off while you're sobbing. Yeah, our cat's been meowing a couple times, Briggs. She's sitting in my lap. Anytime I stop petting her, she's just like, no. You know your role, human. Arrested for indecent exposure. What would be decent exposure? Like, yeah, I can get that. It's still exposure, so we gotta arrest you, but I mean, it ain't bad. It's decent. The Big Sleep is calling. The Big Sleep seems quite far off for us now that the update's been released.
Yeah, it's a good thing you took a nap.
You didn't, though.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be okay?
I mean, I worked out. I probably did the opposite.
You expend your energy. Okay, I'm gonna stop petting her for a second. We'll see how long it takes for her to meow.
She's waiting.
Yeah, she's waiting. We'll see, though.
Hold on, her eyes are opening. What? That.
I didn't hear it. I felt her try to meow, but nothing came out, so that doesn't count.
Keckin' doesn't count.
If she's too lazy to pay the meows for the pets, you get out of me what you put in. Okay, there we go.
What kind of sound was that?
It was like a beep. It was the least amount of effort she could put forth to get a sound to come out of her body. I was gonna say the Big Sleep. Maybe the Little Sleep. We'll call it McSleep Jr.
I need to zoom in on that. Can't do all this detailed stuff.
Safi Jiva is orange? Say what?
What?
Orange? They didn't say Garnet Jiva.
I thought blue. Wait. What?
Maybe it's like Xenojiva looks for energy and can't get enough from the crystals, so it goes out and seeks heat from the lava or something. Takes a nice lava bath and becomes orange.
Dude looks like a chick. Guess I'm doing it right.
So I guess on this one, should we keep it to the line work this week, or?
Probably. Fudge, it's like 10.
Yeah, even if not for the update, this thing would be taken till like 1 or something.
Yeah. Kick.
That wasn't a sound, Portia. That was your lip smacking. That's all I heard.
Kick.
You gotta give me a proper meow. I gave you at least 50 pets. Give me a meow. Come on. Give me a cute one. Give me a cute meow. Come on. She's like, no, I'm too good for that.
She's gonna sit there and grin. She just holding her head up, waiting. Where the pets? I'm purring expectantly. Guess we'll put rice on his face or something. That's not rice. That's not rice. Audio says to meow.
You hear that? That's an audience request to meow, Porsche.
Oh, look at that.
She did it. Could you hear it? It was so quiet.
Immediate. You're a true cat of the internet.
Kick.
She's like putting so little effort into her meows.
She just kicks.
How big is the update, Natsu? Hoping it's not too big. I'm actually hoping that our PlayStations are doing it as we speak.
It better be. Hey, mine's like on. Has no excuse. And like Monster Hunter's open and everything. In the background.
Smog with Xeno abilities. She's like a little kitty laser. She's pew 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 pew. She like opens her mouth halfway and she just pushes air out and she just hopes it hits the right things to make a noise.
Usually it's just clicks. Little kicks.
Now if we're trying to go to sleep and she wants pets, she'll be loud. She'll make all kinds of noise. She purrs like a machine gun.
I'm pretty used to it though. I pet her just in my sleep. Like I hear her like, oh, okay, and find her with my hand and just put it on her.
Yeah, we've gotten to where we're pretty good at not being bothered. We can tune out the kitty noises while we try to sleep.
And then she bites me. That wakes me up.
Ooh, you're using a hotspot, Natsu? Dang.
Oof.
I imagine that would take a bit. I hope you don't have a data plan that's limited, because that sounds like a bit of a beast for one of those.
Yeah. So it is kind of like down on a chick. Is the little baby dragon.
Oh, so it is like we were thinking. So the blue stuff all comes off like Sash said, and like we were talking about in the video, like the down on a chicken or a bird, a baby bird. So he sheds it all off and it becomes a jerk. Well, he's kind of a jerk when he's a baby form, but you ever notice like I can't be really all that mad at Zeno because when you actually look at the way baby Zeno moves while you're fighting it really looks like a baby. Like they made him, like the way he bounces and moves around, it seems like he doesn't quite have control over his movements yet. So a lot of times I actually feel kind of bad fighting Zeno. If he wasn't so huge, I would probably not be able to really fight him because he kind of reminds me of Sif the wolf from Dark Souls. You know, once you get Sif down to where he's limping, like I didn't want to fight him in the beginning, but once you get him down to where he's limping, I'm like, I have to like line up a swing and close my eyes and look away as I finish him off every time. Like, I know I can't do this. Or I bring in a build that's fast enough to chop off the second half of his health fast enough that I never have to see the limp.
He's like squeaks and stuff too. Sounds like a baby.
Xeno's pretty huge though. Like Xeno is right around the same size as Shara.
Yeah. So is this new one just like absolutely gigantic?
No,
Wait,
Briggs was saying that Briggs wanted it to be bigger, but it's around the same size. So.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. What? Baby is full grown. Just is baby.
Super baby. Boss baby. Like literally, boss baby. Your final opponent for Monster Hunter World will be this baby. And I don't know, there was something sad to me about the sounds that Zeno make. Is Safi's, does it sound like a more mature roar? Because Zeno's roars were, and little, like, those shrill, like, squeaks that it made me sad. They sounded like a baby's.
Goodbye, hair.
Oh, yeah, I remember that DLC audio. That made, when I found all the Artorias stuff, I was like, man, you're mean, From Software. You're mean. If you look at just the face you have, it almost looks like a nun eating. Like it looks like a nun having lunch, and yeah.
Could not be further from the truth.
Because the way the eyebrows come down makes me think of like the hood and everything.
Oh yeah. This cat looks like a teddy bear. Maybe I should have drawn a serious cat.
Yeah, it looked like they were going for a more Western heraldic style dragon with his design.
Hey, it's my favorite.
Like the dragons that they always depict on like flags and armor and stuff back in the medieval era. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing plenty of him after we get the line work here done.
Ah.
Oh, that was more like it. That was more like it. Good Porsche, good Porsche.
Pet.
It's pet time. I think she drifted off to sleep.
She woke herself up with squeak.
She was like, I should be getting the pets. I was honestly hoping that Xeno'jiva Eva was gonna turn into the blue Fatalis. Like, I was hoping Zeno was like the beginning of a new line of Fatalis, like for the new world. Because, you know, they're kind of, basically most of their designs so far, outside of the monsters that have definitely returned from old Monster Hunter games, but the new monsters are all pretty much like westernized modern world versions of more realistic style versions of a lot of the monsters that already exist. Kind of like reimaginings or a reboot of a monster. So I was thinking that with Xeno, ever since we fought it as a baby, like, me and Sasha have always thought, like, man, they're gonna bring that monster back as an adult later. Watch, it's gonna be like with Gore Magala, how, you know, you had your basic Gore, the black Gore, and then you had him when he split between the two, and then he became the complete Gore. Not Gore. Crud. What was the name? You remember it? It wasn't Gore Magala anymore. It's I want to say Shara Magala. Wait. What was the gold one? That you remember? It was the gold one, not black anymore. Something like Shara.
I'm blinking.
Yeah, I'll just look it up real quick. I have to Google something, dear. I need my hands for 1 second. There, I will pet you.
Oh no. Why did I kill the good line?
Yeah, there's the Chaotic Gormagala,
Oh, you mean the white one?
Evangelion Gormagala.
What?
Yeah, the white one.
What was he? Wasn't like Lucent.
No, Lucent was Nargacuga.
What the crap was it?
Oh, it's a repel quest for now? That makes sense. That's what they did with Luna at first, too. Actually, was it Shigaru? Yeah, Shigaru Magala. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, didn't we call him Shaggy?
Yeah, that's right. We did call him Shaggy. I'm stupid. I don't know, Audio. I've always thought that the White Fatalis was the strongest creature to ever grace Monster Hunter, in my opinion. Like, I can't remember a harder fight than White Fatalis. Olive Garden is Italian McDonald's. I've actually always kind of thought of like Pizza Hut as Italian McDonald's. If you're talking pasta though, then yeah. I can't think of any like fast food restaurant for like Italian stuff. Olive Garden would probably be about the lowest tier. I'm not a fan of Pizza Hut myself. I used to love it when I was a kid, Dave, but as I grew older, the grease started bothering me, and there is like an insane amount of grease on their stuff. Oh yeah, Natsu. Yep, we threw a few Christmas stuff on, Christmas things on here.
Grimace Beam.
Yeah, hers is like this. She wanted to go for like this sister ray cannon of an ornament on her head. So don't think of it as like a star on a Christmas tree. It's a cannon.
It's a can.
Wait, they gave the new guy has an insta kill like Behemoth?
Bleh.
Now, why did they have to go and do that? I was worried that mechanic was going to make a comeback with another monster later. When they threw that much effort into Behemoth, I was actually like, I really could see this going into one of their other fights. Like the whole tanking and recovery thing, like keeping hate on the monster, that sort of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that made a comeback.
What am I doing? What is art? What are ears?
Yeah, the White Fatalis is kind of like, if you look at the descriptions in the lore of all the dragons, I mean, he really just kind of takes the cake. And not even just the armor and the fact he did destroy civilization. I remember that fight. Like, when you get him down to half health, suddenly he goes into armor mode, and if you don't have Mind's Eye, everything deflects. He becomes nearly impossible to damage, and then his lightning bolts could one-hit kill you unless you had, like, the absolute best armor and Feline Moxie kicked in.
Just be a hunting horn user, you won't bounce.
Well, back then, Hunting Horn could bounce.
What?
Their Mega Slam it wasn't always immutable. They could bounce back in the day, just same as like, I don't think there were any attacks that could just not ever bounce on the older games anyway.
Well, not now. Bouncing is a thing of the past. You keep your songs up.
Oh, they gave him the chance. That's when you know he's one of the big bosses. Cause you guys remember, all the big bosses always had the chanting music. Like Cedeus had
I love that song.
Cedeus had his music. Abyssal had some chanting. All the Fatalises. Alrighty, Dave. Thanks for dropping by tonight, bro. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great evening. Enjoy the Mixed Sleep Junior. Oh, Hellblade Glavenus was a nightmare. Hellblade, I always thought that Glavenus had a lot of weaknesses. He's always kind of like Zinogre in my opinion. You guys remember when Zinogre first came out? He had a lot of glaring, like his hitboxes were way too small, and he was like all of his attacks hit straight in front of him. So if he kind of stayed off to the side, him and Glavenus were no problem at all.
He was so flashy too. He'd always broadcast his moves.
Yeah, and his moves had a lot of recovery. They fixed a lot of that in World, but even Glavenus here is pretty flashy. He's got a few attacks that make up for his weakness. Hellblade, though, Hellblade was a nightmare, because Hellblade actually took all of his weak points and fixed them. They covered all of his blind spots.
Dang it. How'd that happen?
With Hellblade, he was a deviant, though. If they brought back any of those, I think they'd have to bring back the whole deviant system. If they did, though, I mean, the Deviant and Apex monster systems were actually pretty good for giving you a lot of extra challenge later in the game when your gear just got to where it was too good. You could go out into the free areas and build up your levels on your monsters, and then fight the Apex or the Deviants for super rare items, and they would be just ridiculously strong, like monsters that would practically look your way and you would die. I'm not a big fan of him. Early audio. The fight's okay, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of how he fights. He wasn't he wasn't my favorite big final monster. It's okay. And his design, I didn't really think his design was very in tune with the whole Monster Hunter aesthetic. He looked a little bit out of place to me. But I guess no more so than Zeno, because Zeno looked like an alien. I don't know, it seems like with Monster Hunter World, like, they really want to have, like, a grounded... Like, all of these monsters leading up to the final monster are all, like, monsters that could potentially be realistic in the right biomes and maybe some point in history. They could have actually been creatures, and then it's, like, leading up to this big thing that's like, whoa, that's totally an alien. Astalos and Gameth would be really cool. I think the director already debunked... I think he already, de-announced or whatever. Disowned, I guess? I think he already fought the claim of Gameth. He already claimed that Gameth wouldn't be an Iceborn, which makes no sense, because if any of the big four, the Fated Four, are made for Iceborn, it's Gameth.
I hope they bring Durham Burrows back.
Well, the thing is, if they brought Durham Burrows back, I mean, you might as well bring Gameth back, because they didn't share the exact same skeleton, but it was... I think Gameth was a mix of, like, Durham Burrows and maybe a Bulldrome? Or a Diablos?
Oh, it's Delby. Hi, buddy.
Watch the final title update. They're gonna release the Conchu Drome, the ultimate Conchu.
You got anything witty Demon Slayer related? Rather than adopt a cat? I'm trying to think.
I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
You kind of put me on the spot.
Sen.
Kongalala would be a really funny one to bring back. Because it seems like, to me, like, the creators for Monster Hunter World really want to honestly, I was blown away when I saw they were releasing some of the more comical, lighthearted joke weapons in the coming expansions. I'm really happy to see it. And when I saw the spear tuna sword, those kind of weapons, I'm happy to see. Because the series always had them in, like, wide variety, too. But with with Monster Hunter World, it just feels like they've tried to keep with that serious Western aesthetic so hard that it's been. I think they've finally seen the feedback from the fans, because the fans are like, your weapon designs, they're not good. We want the crazy weapon designs. We want the over the top weapon designs. What are these, really subtle, bare bones? Oh, you took the original metal weapon and slapped some monster parts on it. What's this? You could tell the Capcom team was like, we want it all to seem more realistic. And it does, but it's not quite as fun. And I think they're finally listening to the fans, like, bring back the crazy, right now. So they're starting to bring back the crazy, because you saw in the dev diary those space suits we're getting. Those things are awesome. First moving textures we're going to have on armor, too.
Yeah, that did look cool.
Oh yeah, I saw that audio. I think they deserve it. I mean, Iceborne is a really rock solid expansion. I think Iceborne is like the perfect example of what an expansion should be for a game. You pay one price. We're not going to hit you guys with 5 DLCs at $20 a pop after the game comes out. We're going to bring the game out, let you enjoy it for 2 years, and then we're going to bring another game out, practically, that's an expansion with practically the same amount of content in it, but it's only going to be, $40. Man, Amatsu would be great in World. They would have... I think one of the problems they have with bringing back a lot of the monsters, though, is I think they programmed the world in Monster Hunter World to be so interactive that the monsters really utilize the world, the hunters really utilize the world. It's probably a real problem for the developers to figure out ways that they can integrate older monster interactions that were not designed around world's interactivity to actually make it so they have to probably have to reinvent the monster wheel to get them to where they could actually interact with the world, and then they have to probably program the world around the monster too. I think if Iceborne would have been the original game audio, they probably would have gotten Platinum. I think the only thing that kept them from Platinum is the fact that it's an expansion, not like its own original game. I think they probably kept the Platinum for, like, they wanted, they didn't want other, like, brand new IPs out there to feel they got shafted, because they lost the Platinum to something that's an expansion. That would seem a little unfair if I were a developer of something new. There is forever a cat in my lap.
That was Stubby.
Yeah, Portia evacuated, and now Stubby's in my lap, and he's clawing the crap out of my leg. He's looking so cute doing it, but man, it's sharp.
He's less about the keks and more about the danger beans.
Oh, ouch, buddy. We need to trim his claws, I think. Yeah, I really love the way Monster Hunter World works. Like, the interactivity of it is just awesome. But I think it really does put the developers in a hard spot when it comes to being time to add a new monster. Because before it was just, like you said, it's just environments. It's like, oh, this is a theme, so, don't put the ice monster in the volcano. Don't put the volcanic monster, in the tundra. That's pretty much it. If it's a monster out of the water, put him in the water. Now, though, it's like, okay, so we've got this monster, and he digs in the ground. Well, this area has a lot of free space on the ground. We can put him here. But there's these other monsters or elements that might not agree with him. They've got to keep that ecosystem in mind and figure out how to make the world interact with the monster and the monster interact with the world. And I think it just makes their jobs a lot harder. I imagine they had a much easier time making the old games. Except for maybe Try. The underwater elements were probably a bit of a nightmare, which is why I'm thinking that they ditch them.
Man, I really like the underwater fighting though.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty cool. And being a Lance user, it was great.
I don't think Hunting Horn was in tries. I was Hammer back then. But it worked pretty well.
Oh yeah, Briggs. I'm pretty certain they realize that too. Even if they wanted to go back from the formula they've got, you know, before they would only sell maybe 1.5 million copies of any given Monster Hunter game, and then they went from that to all of a sudden 12, 10, 12, 13. Now I think they're up to 16 million copies sold. They've pretty much, you know, gone up like 1,000% in their user base. So since most of the users, like, veteran hunters can say what they want about new hunters, but new hunters that are playing World and Iceborne as their first Monster Hunter game, they're in the vast majority. So whatever they're used to, that's pretty much going to be setting the standard for the series from here on. Otherwise, Capcom runs the risk of people, you know, not buying their next game. Yeah, I don't know about 14 right now, audio. It's hard. Like, we don't even have... I haven't even gotten past episode 3 on Death Stranding, so... Thinking of the time it takes to get into Final Fantasy 14, it seems really, really unlikely for us at the moment. But think of it like this, audio. At least all that content will still be there when we come back. It'll just be easier.
This is true.
So it looks like you're pretty much done with the line work here?
Well, I think so, unless I'm forgetting something important. There's a cat. There's a adopted cat. I signed it.
Well, then I think we can just go ahead and get back to it next week then.
Or I'll color it in my own time so we can do something different. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I know Mercy wants something super complex. So I might get
Yeah.
started on hers next week.
Yeah, Mercy's request is going to be a doozy. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit of planning before I start drawing it on stream. So it doesn't take too terribly long.
That would be best, I think.
Still working on the channel banner. Needs a lot of cleanup. I'd like it to look quite a bit cleaner than my usual stuff.
Yeah, we were going to finish up the channel banner after that, but because last weekend was the con and it was going to be our first, we had to do the cosplay crunch because we still had my mask hadn't been completed yet. I actually finished the mask like almost from square one to done in like a day. I just had to grind it. And the rest of it, we managed to hash it out, but it left us with no time. So that, and then we were gone out of town till Monday. So yeah, getting back, we haven't really had too much time yet, but we'll get it finished and get it up there because we need to. Because that banner I made years ago looks pretty awful in the format that it's in.
I think it looks fine.
It just says Kitty Bit Games. You can hardly see the cats. The kitties need more representation, and I think the hand drawing them is a little more TLC, so.
It certainly doesn't hurt to put something new in.
Yeah.
It's been there for a while.
Well, alrighty, you guys. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night on this so we can clock in for working on the new stuff on Monster Hunter and get that stuff up on the channel, because by tomorrow, people probably won't really be interested in it anymore, so we, got to grind out the videos.
Time is of the essence.
The essence. My cat does not want to keep a bead on me tonight anyway, so. Well, alrighty, guys. We appreciate y'all coming out and chatting with us, keeping us company while we draw, as always. We will be seeing you next week. Have a great evening. And Natsu, really good to see you again, bro. Hope we get to see you before Christmas. And if not, Merry Christmas to you and have Happy New Year and all that good stuff, too. But hopefully we'll get to see you for wishes before that. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. If anyone here is new to the channel or is watching this after the fact, we love you guys too. And If you're new to the channel, likes and subs are appreciated, not required though. What we ask for around here though is if it's within your means, consider adopting or rescuing a cat. ASPCA.org, petfinder.com. You can also Google your local animal rescue and adoption options. If you can't bring one home with you due to allergies, living conditions, what have you, there's other ways you can show your love. What are some of those?
You can also go volunteer and still spend time with the guys, or you can donate money or blankets, clothes. They can use all that kind of stuff.
Yep, so if you've got love to give, love to show, there's plenty of ways to give it, and unfortunately there's plenty of animals out there who could use that love. So guys, speaking of love, we love you, and remember, buy your fun, not your fam. Adopt, don't shop, and we'll see you next time.
Nighty night.
Good night.